It is the 11th consecutive weekend of demonstrations of the yellow vests in Paris and other large cities. And although President Emmanuel Macron has reached out to the protesters over the last couple of weeks, the movement does not seem to calm down.
Macron sticks to his position, but we are sticking to ours too. I will say that I hope to represent retirees, the issue of the tax rise for pensioners. I have the impression the government has the tendency to forget about it. We hear a lot of things, but we don't hear the word retirees. I would like for them not to forget us.
There has been no change. I have a salary of 1,200 euros. I don't run out of money by the 15th of the month. I run out of money by the 6th of the month. I can no longer manage to survive. That's why I'm here, because nothing is moving, nothing is changing.
The Yellow Vest demonstrations already caused for billions of euros of damage throughout the country. Thousands of people were injured and 10 of them have died. Now, for the first time on Sunday, there will be a counter-demonstration by a movement called the Red Scarves. They would like to express their support to Emmanuel Macron and his government, and they also want to demonstrate against the violence used by some of the Yellow Vests. The government is not officially supporting this movement, partly because they fear that not a lot of people will turn up. But they also want to avoid dividing the country into two camps, the Red Scarves against the Yellow Vests. But the attendance on Sunday will be watched eagerly by the government, because it's a first test for the popularity of Emmanuel Macron in France. This is Stefan de Vries for CGTN in Paris.
For more insights into the situation in France, I'm joined in the studio by my colleague Yang Zhao. Hello there. Let's start with the Yellow Vest movement. For several months, it shows no signs of easing, even after President Macron made some concessions. Tell us more about their demands.
Well, let's start with the name of this protest, the Yellow Vest. That comes from the people who started, the French drivers who are legally required to keep this high visibility vest in their cars. It began around November 17th last year to push back against rising taxes on gas and diesel fuel. And President Macron announced the new gas tax earlier in 2018 as part of the broader plan to minimize France's reliance on fossil fuels. Macron initially refused to budge on the fuel tax, then proposed an adjustment in case of rising oil costs. Not satisfied, protesters hit French streets again. The protesters have also begun directing their anger at the state of France's economy and at Macron's leadership in general. And they say France's economy is growing too slowly, and most of the growth that does happen is centered in major cities like Paris. Also, it doesn't help that Macron is cutting long-standing benefits and ending labor protections. For example, he has made it easier for companies to hire and fire employees and fought unions to end subsidies for certain sectors. And that's why some see Macron as the president of rich. Macron has responded with a televised speech to the nation, saying he accepts this share of responsibility for the crisis. He has introduced financial measures, including a minimum wage hike and tax-free overtime pay and tax exemption for low-income retirees. The hope for calm in the new year will quickly dash as a new round of protest descends around the country.
And now it seems the situation is getting more complicated as this anti-Yellow Vest movement is shaping up. They call themselves Red Scarves. Tell us more about the Red Scarves.
Absolutely. We have found three movements that one of which is called the Red Scarves comes together on Sunday. It will be the first protest of this kind and aims to stop the violence of the more radical Yellow Vest demonstrations. And some parts of the movement initially wanted to show their support for Macron, but now they have dialed that back, saying they simply just want the violence to end and to see the law and order restored. But this protest are much smaller than the Yellow Vest demonstrations. According to the Red Scarves official Facebook page, just under 10,000 are planning to attend.